My Property Fact always brings before you the most prominent and notable people of real estate industry. This time, MPF is privileged to introduce you with Mr. Ashwani Kapoor, Vice President Marketing of BPTP. He shared with us his lifelong experience and his views regarding the changing property trends. How long have you been associated with the industry and how has your journey been till date?
I am into this industry since last 14-15 years. I started in 1997 with Supertech. Then I have worked with Nitishri. Presently I am working for BPTP since last 5 years.
What transitions have you seen in the Indian real estate industry over the past decade or so?
As far as industry is concerned, there is a huge difference now. In the last 1 decade, developers are more professional, more organized, and they know what they are doing. Whereas 10 years back, most of the developers working that time were not very professionals.
How would you compare the Indian real estate industry with various other countries?
Indian real estate industry is very realistic. Whereas if you talk about Dubai or US, the instance you have seen in the past, those were certainly bad, and in fact these conditions were not predictable at all. Whereas if you talk about Indian market, we have never seen that sort of recession or that sort of appreciation in a very short span. It is very consistent and predictable as compared to international property market.
Have the government policies helped in the real estate growth?
In certain states, yes, but in most of the state, developers are not getting very good support from government side. If you talk about Noida market, that is very organized, land is acquired by government, that is a planned township. Whereas if you talk about Haryana, developers are supposed to acquire land on their own, they go for licensing, and the piece of land they get, that is not very systematic if you compare it with Noida.
What else, according to you, is required by the industry from the government to keep on with the growth trajectory?
The government should understand what is exact requirement as far as real estate market is concerned, what the buyer is looking for, what is basic requirement of developer. Certainly most important is infrastructure, which is to be developed before any development in that area. Whereas in most of the cities you might have seen, development comes first and then infrastructure comes, but it should be otherwise. So every developer is looking for such a change from government side.
How is the Indian consumer evolving in terms of expectations from a developer?
In last 10-12 years, developers are doing good job, but as on date, if you talk about customers' expectation, that is increasing day by day because the exposure they are getting now is much more than past. Quality, the expectation of quality, the commitments from the developer side is very, very important these days, because whatsoever wrong has happened in the past, they are aware of that, and they are aware of industry. A buyer who is coming to a developer for a particular property, he is very well aware of the market conditions.
There has been a huge influx of real estate brokerage firms across the country. Is it a good sign? Your views on that, please?
If it is such, it is certainly good for industry, because you might have seen in last 10 years the way this industry is booming, and if so many guys are associating themselves with this industry, certainly there is something very positive which is yet to come.
Is it advisable for an end user to buy real estate from the developer directly, or dealing with a broker consultant a better idea?
I feel basically the person who is intelligent enough to take decisions which developer he should go for, he can come to developer directly, but otherwise we are even it's good because the options he'll be getting through brokers, that will be much more than coming directly to a developer.